Hi there, you're watching Malika Vedic Astrology, and this is your forecast for June for the sign of Aquarius. Before we dive in, one important note. This channel is dedicated to Vedic astrology, also known as Jyotish, and it's not the same as the Western horoscopes most people are familiar with. In the Vedic system, the signs are calculated differently, so your Vedic sign may not be the one you think you know. Check out the first video on this channel where I explain the difference in detail. And one more thing, the forecasts here are based on your rising sign, your ascendant, not your sun sign. If you don't know your Vedic ascendant, simply send me your date of birth, your exact time of birth, and your place of birth, and I'll help you find it. All my contact details are in the description below. Alright, let's talk about June, because for Aquarius, this month is one that asks for both giving and receiving at the same time. What is this month really about? June for Aquarius is a month where on one side there is a very powerful emphasis on work, health, and everyday matters, and on the other, the main event of the month arrives in the house that governs what matters most, your inner state, your family, your home, and what gives you a sense of being safe and grounded. The central theme is the space between what you do for the world and what nourishes you from within. Aquarius will feel this tension very clearly in June, because you can't give endlessly without building an inner foundation. And right now, rare support is arriving for exactly that foundation. The first half is rich on the outside: work, communication, personal energy. The second half goes deeper and warmer: creativity, romance, and important professional events. Let's go through it step by step. The Sun in your fourth house, through June 15th in Taurus. The fourth house is the deepest and most personal space in the chart. Family, your mother, your home and place of living, your roots, inner peace, and the sense of being protected. And the Sun here illuminates exactly this sphere. Attention turns inward and homeward, and a desire appears to sort out domestic matters, improve your living conditions, spend time with family, and create comfort around you. For Aquarius, a sign that usually lives in ideas and thinks in terms of humanity as a whole, the Sun in the fourth house offers an important reminder: start with your own home. Create the space around you before trying to change the world. Mercury in your fifth house, May 29th through June 22nd in Gemini. The fifth house is love, creativity, children, romance, and self-expression. And Mercury, in its home sign here, gives the mind immersed in creativity. Ideas come easily, words form into something beautiful, and there's a real desire to share through writing, conversations, and creative projects. Intellectual play and wit are at their peak. A good time for writing creative content, launching intellectual projects, romantic conversations, and anything connected to expressing yourself through words and ideas. And Venus is there too, at least for the first part of the month. Venus in your fifth house, through June 8th in Gemini. Venus in the fifth house is a blossoming of romance, creativity, and joy, a desire to love, to create, to enjoy, to feel light. Relationships fill with warmth, creative projects with charm, and time with children with a special kind of pleasure. Through June 8th, this is one of the best windows for romantic events and creative initiatives. Don't let these days slip by. And in the very first hours of June, one final impulse from Jupiter in the fifth house. Jupiter in your fifth house, through June 1st in Gemini. For almost a year, Jupiter has been giving growth through creativity, love, children, and joy, a period of genuine blossoming in the most pleasant areas of life. On June 1st, Jupiter leaves the fifth house, and this joyful cycle closes. But what was created, romantic connections, creative projects, intellectual growth, that is already yours. And as Jupiter moves on, it carries its power toward where it's needed even more. And now, something I want to draw your particular attention to: Mars in your third house in Aries from May 11th through June 20th. The third house is communication, personal effort, skills, short trips, and your immediate circle. And Mars here creates very high personal activity and initiative, a desire to act, to move, to speak, to persuade, to push your ideas forward. The energy in communication is very strong, and a lot can be accomplished through direct personal effort. But here's an important nuance. Mars in the third house can bring sharpness in communication, with words coming out more cutting than intended. Watch your tone, because in the first half of June, the word is particularly sharp. A good time for advancing through personal initiative, forceful negotiations, and launching communication-driven projects. And throughout the whole month, a few longer transits are running in the background. Rahu in your first house. All month in Aquarius. Rahu is sitting directly in your sign in the first house, your personality, your body, your energy, and how the world perceives you. This is an important, long-term configuration, and Rahu here creates a strong, unconventional, and sometimes disorienting influence on your sense of self. On one side, an enormous desire for growth and expansion beyond the previous identity. On the other, a feeling that the old version of yourself no longer works, but the new one hasn't fully formed yet. Rahu in the first can give a magnetism that others notice in you, and an attraction to unconventional paths of self-expression. The important thing is not to lose your inner compass during this period. Real growth needs to come from within, not only through external changes. Ketu in your seventh house, all month in Leo. The seventh house is partnership, marriage, and business alliances. And Ketu here creates a quiet detachment from the partnership theme, not because relationships aren't needed, but because old patterns in partnership are being reassessed. Something familiar in relationships begins to lose its meaning, and in its place comes a more mature, less dependent view of what it means to be in union with another person. For those who are searching, right now it matters more to understand yourself than to find a partner. Saturn in your second house, all month in Pisces. Saturn, one of the rulers of Aquarius, is in the second house, the house of money, possessions, and values. Saturn here creates slow but solid financial structure. No quick, easy money, but what is being built in the financial sphere right now will stand for a long time. Budget, discipline, and cutting what isn't essential are the tools of this transit. This is a long transit, lasting until 2027, and it is teaching Aquarius to build financial stability through consistency and patience rather than luck or unconventional schemes. And now, the main event of June, the one I wanted to give its own space. The main event of June, Jupiter enters Cancer, June 1st. Jupiter moves into the sixth house of Aquarius, into Cancer. Here it is, the main event not just of June, but of the months ahead for your sign. Jupiter is the most benefic planet in Vedic astrology, and Cancer is the sign of its exaltation, its maximum power. And now that maximum power is directed into your sixth house. For many signs, the sixth house sounds less dramatic than the first or 10th. But let's look at why, for Aquarius, this is actually a very valuable shift. The sixth house is work and professional service, health and the body as an instrument, daily routine and processes, obstacles and the ability to overcome them, competitors and opponents, and colleagues and those who work alongside you. When Jupiter in exaltation arrives in the sixth house, this is powerful support in the area of work and health. What can it bring? Significant growth through work and professional service. Your effort begins to produce real, tangible results. Victory over competitors and obstacles. Jupiter here quite literally protects against enemies and open opponents. An improvement in health, especially if you have been dealing with something difficult for a long time. A joy in daily work. Work stops feeling like a burden and becomes a source of meaning. And harmonious relationships with colleagues. with genuine support coming through the professional environment. Jupiter will be in Cancer until the end of October 2026. For Aquarius, this is a period when dedicated, quality work receives its real reward, through growth, through recognition, and through victory over what has been blocking forward movement. Now, what happens in the second half of the month? On June 15th, the Sun moves into your fifth house in Gemini. The Sun leaves the fourth house and moves into the fifth, where Mercury is already waiting. The domestic and inward tone of the first half gives way to something lighter, more creative, and more joyful. This is a powerful combination of personal will and sharp intellect, right in the house of creativity and self-expression. An excellent period for launching creative and intellectual projects, for romantic events, and for everything connected to the joy of being alive. And on June 8th, something very pleasant happens in your sixth house. On June 8th, Venus moves into your sixth house in Cancer. Venus arrives right where Jupiter is already standing, and this is a very enjoyable combination. Venus in the sixth house alongside Jupiter in exaltation means beauty and harmony in the work sphere. Work becomes more pleasant, colleagues warmer, and the working environment fills with something lighter and more human. A connection through a professional setting that turns out to be meaningful is quite possible. In the area of health, Venus alongside Jupiter in the sixth often brings pleasant results from caring for the body. Beauty, health, and well-being moving together. And after June 20th, an important shift worth noting. On June 20th, Mars moves into your fourth house in Taurus. Mars leaves the third house and moves into the fourth, family, home, and inner emotional state. The communicative drive of the first half transforms, and energy moves into the domestic sphere. This can bring a desire to change something in the living space, family conflicts, or simply a heightened emotional temperature at home. There is plenty of energy for domestic projects, but it's important not to bring outside tension home with you. Health in June. A few things worth paying attention to this month. The shins, ankles, and circulation. Aquarius is physically connected to these areas, and Mars in the third house in the first half creates a high tempo of movement and communication. Watch for overexertion and injuries during active travel or busy days. Work health. Jupiter in the sixth house from June 1st is powerful support for health through proper work organization. Routine, movement, quality nutrition, and rest from screens all produce a noticeable effect in June. If you've been meaning to take better care of yourself, June is an excellent time to start. The nervous system. Rahu in the first house creates a background inner restlessness. Grounding practices, time in nature, quiet, and physical movement are the best tools for Aquarius during this period. Energy through work. When Venus joins Jupiter in the sixth house after the 8th, many Aquarians will notice that work starts to genuinely give energy rather than only take it. That is a rare and very valuable experience. Money in June. The financial picture for Aquarius in June calls for patience and consistency. Saturn in the second house all month continues to require financial discipline. No quick, easy money here, but a solid foundation is being built. Jupiter in the sixth house from June 1st opens income growth through work and professional development. This is the main financial path of June for Aquarius, earning through quality effort and expertise. From June 8th, Venus in the sixth adds pleasant professional opportunities. Rahu in the first house may attract unconventional financial ideas. It's important to filter carefully and not get drawn into schemes that look beautiful but don't hold up in reality. Career in June. June is a very strong work month for Aquarius. Jupiter in exaltation in the sixth house from June 1st is powerful support for professional growth through service and dedication. Those who work with genuine quality and commitment begin to receive real recognition during this period. Victory over competitors and professional obstacles is genuinely within reach. Mars in the third house through the 20th adds momentum through personal initiative and negotiations. After June 15th, the Sun in the fifth house adds a creative dimension, career growth through unconventional and creative solutions. Venus in the sixth from the 8th makes the work environment more harmonious and opens pleasant professional opportunities. Love and relationships in June. The start of June is romantically rich. Venus and Mercury in the fifth house make the first half light, creative, and full of romantic potential. Through June 8th, this is an excellent window for expressing feelings and for everything connected to the joy of closeness. Ketu in the seventh house continues to make the partnership theme more reflective, not a time for impulsive decisions in relationships, but a time for mature reassessment. After the 8th, Venus moves into the sixth house and meets Jupiter there. Romance through shared work and common purpose, a meaningful connection in a professional setting, or the deepening of an existing relationship through a joint project. After the 15th, the Sun in the fifth house returns lightness and charm. After the 20th, Mars arrives in the fourth house, and the domestic atmosphere may carry more tension. It's important not to direct that toward a partner. The month in summary. June for Aquarius is a month where growth comes not through grand events, but through quality work and inner commitment. The first half is light, creative, and communicative. Venus and Mercury in the fifth house, Mars in the third, and the Sun in the fourth create lots of movement, words, romance, and domestic themes all at once. The second half is work-focused, deep, and genuinely fulfilling. Jupiter in exaltation in the sixth house, Venus alongside it, and the Sun and Mercury in the fifth create a special combination of professional growth and creative blossoming. Your opportunities in June are professional growth through dedicated work, victory over obstacles and competitors, improvements in health and well-being, creativity, romance and self-expression, and personal initiative through communication. Where to be more careful. Sharpness in communication and conflicts with your immediate circle in the first half. Domestic tension after June 20th. Financial schemes without a real foundation, losing your inner compass in the search for yourself, and impulsive decisions in partnership. The main message of June. Aquarius is used to thinking at scale, about humanity, about the future, about great ideas. But June 2026 is saying something clear. Greatness begins with quality daily work. Jupiter in exaltation in the sixth house is a rare blessing for those who know how to serve their work with genuine dedication and honesty. Put real soul into what you do, and June will return that many times over. Not through luck, through what is genuinely earned. This has been the general transit forecast for Aquarius in Vedic astrology. It describes the tendencies for everyone with this ascendant, but your personal story is always richer and more specific than any general forecast can capture. Your natal chart holds something this forecast simply cannot give you. Which themes will be most significant for you personally? How strongly these transits will show up in your life? And which moments this month could be genuinely pivotal for you and no one else? And that is what a personal reading is for. If you would like to explore your natal chart, reach out to me. All you need is your date of birth, your exact time of birth, and your place of birth, and all my contact details are below this video. You can also order a full year ahead forecast. Until the next forecast, and may June bring you exactly what you need.